A lot of people will be traveling for this extended holiday weekend, and whether you are flying out or flying home, here's something to consider.
Yeah, you may have never given this any thought, but there's actually an advantage to when you check in for your flight. Liz Coe explains.
There are basically two types of airline travelers, those who check in for the flight as soon as they possibly can, and those who wait until the very last minute. Well, it turns out there's actually an advantage to waiting to check in most of the time. According to the travel website Explore, you can snag a better seat assignment often by waiting to check in. Here's why. It's 24 hours before takeoff and you can check in, so you do. But what you may not realize is that airlines are always looking at ways to make more money from passengers. The best seats, you know, the ones with a little extra leg room, are going to be held as long as possible for someone who's willing to pay extra for them. Checking in right away generally guarantees that you'll be assigned to that dreaded middle seat or the seats closest to the bathrooms. If no one pays for those better seats and you've waited to check in, well, you have a better chance of scoring those seats. There's also a chance you'll be upgraded if some of those seats are not sold. Usually the cutoff to check in is 90 minutes before an international flight and 45 minutes for a domestic one. Now, this does not apply if you get to pick your seat at check-in and if you're traveling with children or your family. If you fall into either of those categories, then earlier check-in is recommended. Same goes for travelers with elite status with an airline. Checking in early can score one of a limited number of preferred seats. Here's another tip from Explore. While it's generally not recommended to wait 91 minutes before an international departure, if you're traveling within Europe on a low-cost airline like Ryanair, there is a definite advantage to checking in later. They're one of the airlines that holds on to the good seats for as long as possible in hopes of selling them. So if you don't want to pay, well, you have a better chance of getting a seat with extra legroom if you check in later.